welcome to the 2020 Nevada Poetry Out Loud State Finals. Contestants, I'm asking you all to take a deep breath, because here we go. The competition is underway. I'll announce the name of the county and the student's name. The student will then announce the title and the poem, and the title of the poem, and the poet, and then they will proceed with their recitation. We'll begin with Douglas County's Laura Cassidy.
Cartoon Physics Part 1 by Nick Flynn. Children under, say, 10 shouldn't know that the universe is ever expanding, inexorably pushing into the vacuum, galaxies swallowed by galaxies, whole solar systems collapsing, all of it acted out in silence. At 10, we are still learning the rules of cartoon animation, that if a man draws a door on a rock, only he can pass through it. Anyone else who tries will crash into the rock. Children should stick with burning houses, car wrecks, ships going down, earthbound, tangible disasters, arenas where they can be heroes. You can go back into a burning house. Sinking ships have lifeboats. The trucks will come with their ladders. If you jump, you will be saved. A child places her hand on the roof of a school bus and drives across a city of sand. She knows the exact spot it will skid, at which point the bridge will give, who will swim to safety, and who will be pulled under by sharks. She will learn that if a man runs off the edge of a cliff, he will not fall until he notices his mistake.
All right, thank you, Laura. Our judges are now going to be heading into a breakout room. And while they're tabulating their scores, I'm going to talk a bit more with Laura. And so, Laura, I was reading your bio and see that you're involved in an awful lot of things through school. First, you're a senior at Douglas High School, so congratulations on getting ready for your upcoming graduation. I think you're all through, correct?
I am almost through. I will be fully graduated June 6th of this year.
Excellent, excellent. Well, congratulations. And from your bio, it says that you are involved in all kinds of activities, including marching band, choir, steel drums, winter guard. So you're obviously a musical performance as well, right? You enjoy music?
Yes, very much.
Yeah. And plans for that next step of your life. What are you thinking?
I'm hoping to attend BYU Provo and study environmental sciences, astrophysics, architecture, and foreign languages.
Wow. So a lot of things to keep you busy, for sure.
Yes.
I love the idea of architecture. What got you interested in architecture?
Looking through old books with photos of Notre Dame and the Gothic cathedrals in England, seeing the Taj Mahal, St. Basil's Cathedral, I just ended up falling in love with them, and I want to design my own house someday.
Excellent. That's great. And how have you been doing through all of the staying at home and what are some of the ways that you've been keeping busy during this time besides your schoolwork, obviously, and a lot of it?
Not gonna lie, it's been a little hard. I very much miss my friends and my beloved band room and everything else. But I've taken to potting a lot of plants and attempting to grow many things. So basically just expanding my skills. I started practicing piano once again. I've gotten through many TV shows that I'm a fan of. I've read a few book series. And yeah, I've been occupying my time trying to find more things to do.
That's great. And Sierra, or when we are ready to come back, just let me go. Otherwise, we'll keep interviewing here, which is fine. Just let me know when we are ready to go on to the next contestant. Laura, you are obviously really engaged in a lot of things. Tell the audience a little bit about something that they may not know about you just from reading your bio.
Oh boy. I have been playing soccer since I was 4 years old, and I was obsessed with it. It was my intention to keep it with me my entire life, and when I got to high school, I ended up accidentally joining the marching band. Now, I say accidentally because it truly was an accident. I received a random text from a girl I had met in middle school telling me to show up at the high school on a certain day. And I did. They put this drum on me. They gave me this music and told me that I had a month to memorize it. I was really confused. There was a lot going on, but they ended up becoming my best friends. And I ended up choosing them over the soccer team, and thus started my downfall into the music pit of no time, no free time whatsoever.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely takes a commitment. Well, good for you. And how about poetry? How did you come across getting involved in this competition?
Actually, my English teacher this year, this is my first time doing Poetry Out Loud, she offered it as an extra credit assignment for the class, and I'm all about extra credit, having the top scores. So I just kind of went for it. I don't mind performing and being in front of people, and I actually love poetry. I have whole collections of books upstairs. And so this is how I ended up here. It was an extra credit assignment that went a little well.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, congratulations on that. And how about the Douglas County Finals? How did that all go for you?
It was very interesting and very new to me. We were just in one of our classrooms, a few students there. They all got up, they did amazing performances, and it was interesting having the judges being my own teachers who I'd been to their classes and seen them before, and they were sitting there like giving me scores and whispering to each other. And it was a lot of fun.
Good. So you said your English teacher, her name is Karen Hine, and her friends Oliver Vaughn and Levi Romero in your bio. What influence did they have on you?
Ms. Heine she always has this saying about taking the bull by the horns, ripping them off, putting them on your head and screaming. It's like this big like roar to the world of like taking your stance and being confident. And so she kind of inspired me and pushed me into this. And then Oliver Vaughn is probably one of my best friends for 4 years now. And he sat there and listened to me recite these poems over and over again, like just on repeat for weeks to make sure I had them all right. And then Levi Romero is actually one of the drama captains at my school, and he's one of my close friends. And he really like helped me be able to like take the stage and perform, and always like believed in me and had confidence in me.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's amazing that support, right? How important that is to have.
Yeah.
And how about your family? How about describing a little bit? Do you have brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have 2 older brothers. My oldest brother is 6 years older than me. His name is Joshua Casti, and he goes to UNR. He's trying to major in history right now. And then my next oldest brother is Ian. He's 4 years older than me, and he is at BYU Provo. He is studying to major in philosophy with a minor in law and hopes to become a judge one day.
Excellent. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, great role models there. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Back to the competition. And here is Elko County's Soledad Negri.
The End of Science Fiction by Liesl Mueller. This is not fantasy. This is our life. We are the characters who have invaded the moon, who cannot stop their computers. We are the gods who can unmake the world in 7 days. Both hands are stopped at noon. We are beginning to live forever in lightweight aluminum bodies with numbers stamped on our backs. We dial our words like Muzak. We hear each other through water. The genre is dead. Invent something new. Invent a man and a woman, naked in a garden. Invent a child that will save the world. A man who carries his father out of a burning city. Invent a spool of thread that leads a hero to safety. Invent an island on which he abandons the woman who saved his life with no loss of sleep over his betrayal. Invent us as we were before our bodies glittered and we stopped bleeding. Invent a shepherd that kills a giant, a girl who grows into a tree, a woman who refuses to turn her back on the past and is changed to salt. A boy who steals his brother's birthright and becomes head of a nation. Invent real tears, hard love, slow-spoken, ancient words, difficult as a child's first steps across a room.
Great, Soledad, thank you so much. The judges now are going to head back out into the breakout room and tabulate their scores. So you and I get the opportunity to talk a little bit, and the audience will get to learn a lot more about you during this time frame. So again, congratulations for being here and for representing Elko County. That is a fantastic accomplishment. In reviewing your bio, though, there's all kinds of things we can discuss, and the audience will get to learn about you. You're also a member, as we understand it, of the Nevada State Championship golf team. Describe a little bit of that for us.
So I joined the golf team my junior year, so I only got to participate for 2 years, which I deeply regret. I do wish I had started sooner, but I did find people who really accepted me and like really had the best interest at heart. It was very different from any other sports teams I'd had been a part of, just with the mindset of everyone is each other's friend. There's no cliques or anything like that within the golf team. So it was very easy for everyone to mesh together. And I think that's what really helped us towards our success at state this year. Honestly, everyone knew that we would do our best and we would pull through. And that especially became apparent during the first day of state when almost 5 out of 6 of us shot under 100, which was amazing scores for all of us.
That's fantastic. Those are great scores. I'm so glad you got to get through the state championship time frame. Did that happen in the fall, or did that happen just before you had to head home?
Girls golf season is in the fall, and then boys is
right. Okay. Yeah. I forget about that. Yeah, that's good. Well, the timing of that worked out well for you, for sure. And that teamwork and camaraderie is fantastic. I think I'm a big believer in finding ways to collaborate together to solve challenges. I think you'll find as you go on in life that will serve you quite well to be able to work together like that, and individually too, as you have to with your own expertise. So that's good. So tell us, tell the audience a little bit more about you. What's something that that we may not know about you based on your bio?
I am an avid water skier, actually. My entire family is. We really enjoy going out to the lake and improving every summer, I guess, if that's one way to put it.
That's fantastic. And family-wise, you have brothers and sisters?
I have a younger sister, and then it's just my parents.
Okay, great. And I'm sure your younger sister looks up to you, and you're obviously being a great role model for her. So good job.
Thank you.
And how about during this time of quarantine and kind of being at home? How have you been occupying yourself?
I have actually been cleaning and kind of getting ready for college, just giving more mindset toward that than I think I would have if we had stayed in school. It's given me a bit more time to reassure myself that it will work out in the fall, and I've gotten the opportunity to be a lot closer to a lot of the girls that I will be moving in with and living with in the honors college dorms in the fall. So
great. And is that up at University of Nevada, Reno, or is that where you'll be heading off to college?
No, I will be attending Boise State University.
Boise State, excellent. Wow. What made you choose Boise?
My dad is a alumni from there, and we have ties to the area that I very much love, and it's always just been a pinnacle of my childhood, going to games and everything like that. So
that's fantastic. We when I was little, we used to travel through there too. We have relatives up in Montana. We'd always end up through Twin Falls and Boise, and Boise is a favorite spot of my parents as well, and we always loved it there. So I see the appeal for sure. It's great. So that's good. So it looks like we're getting our judges back in, almost all of them. So we'll ask a couple more questions, and then we'll be ready for our next recitation. So what are you going to be studying when you're at what's your course? What are you thinking of from a major standpoint?
For my major, I am definitely looking into biology. In my junior year of college, I'll decide whether it's going to be molecular or evolutionary based. And then I hope to either go on to medical school or find another outlet to use my degree. Great.
That's fantastic. And have you been studying a lot of biology and sciences through high school? Have you been really focused on that? Yeah.
AP Biology was definitely my favorite class, I think.
Great.
For as much stress that I went through for that class, it definitely paid off, and it definitely showed me that even if I hated the work that I had, it was still enjoyable at some points.
I imagine. Yeah, that's a lot of rigor there. So good for you. Congrats. And poetry. How did you get involved in poetry?
Well, my creative writing teacher, Miss Moon, knew of my writing endeavors from middle school. So then when I went into my freshman year, she started mentoring me, I can say, towards expanding my own poetry pursuits and my own writing pursuits. And I was introduced to Poetry Out Loud through her and also my speech teacher, Miss Nielsen. And both of them were great help in the last 4 years of pushing me to actually partake in this and guiding me into doing the best I could.
That's fantastic. Well, good for you. Congratulations. Keep up the great work. Our next poet up, our third poet, will be Clark County's Eileen Mendoza.
Diameter by Michelle Y. Berkey. You love your friend, so you fly across the country to see her. Your friend is grieving. When you look at her, you see that something's missing. You look again. She seems all there. Reading glasses, sarcasm. What did you expect? Ruins? Demeter without arms in the British Museum. Your friend says she believes there's more pain than beauty in the world. When Persephone was taken, Demeter damned the world for half a year. The other half remained warm and bountiful. The Greeks loved symmetry. On the plane, the man next to you read a geometry book. The lesson? Finding the circumference of a circle. On circumference, you can calculate the way around if you know the way across. You try across with your friends. You try around. I don't believe in an afterlife, she says. But after Kate died, I thought I might go after her. In case I'm wrong. In case she's somewhere. Waiting.
Great job, Eileen. Nice work. Our judges are going to head back out like they've been in the breakout room. So while they're tabulating their scores, let's meet Eileen. All right. Well, congratulations on representing Clark County as for the state finals. That's quite an accomplishment. How did that all come about for you? What got you involved in the Poetry Out Loud competition?
So I knew of Poetry Out Loud since my freshman year, because in freshman year I was in public speaking, and he's an English teacher, and every year he does Poetry Out Loud, and he makes all of his classes do it. So technically I've done like 3 competitions. He first does a class competition, then a school competition, and I ended up advancing to the school one that year. And I actually did the first poem that I did during freshman year. So this year, he was my English teacher, and I did this poem again. And I was so nervous because so many other people were very good. And I was like, there's no way I'm getting top 2. And I ended up advancing to the school one, and I went to the district one. And that day was the same day as my final competition for DECA. So I was very stressed because I hadn't fully memorized my second poem. So when we finished, because that day was the last day and we got awards, and you just see me pacing, trying to memorize my second poem. So when I finally got to the competition, I was the only one there. It was very awkward. I thought I was lost, and it all went well. We were all nervous, and when they announced my name for first place, I was like, I think you guys got the wrong person, but okay. So yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Obviously, they didn't get the wrong person, so again, congratulations. But what did that do to your self-confidence?
Every time before I present, I'm very nervous, so I was like shaking a lot, and when I finished, it was like a weight off of my shoulders. So especially with them being DECA and this being the same day, I got the weight off of my shoulders from DECA, and then I got to concentrate on the pressure from this. So when they finally called my name and all of that, I was very relieved and happy.
I bet, yeah, and that does. It's a weight, kind of, yeah. It's lifted off your shoulders, and obviously to win, that's a fantastic accomplishment, and I think that's it's a testament to what, you know, one of the challenges of this type of thing. Public speaking is certainly one of the most challenging things for most people, and to get up and do that is in front of strangers and you know, be out there exposed is pretty challenging. So it's brave to get up there and do it, and good for you for doing that. So tell the audience a little bit more about you, something they may not know about you from just reading your bio.
Something they may not know about me is that when it comes to a project or something, when it comes to a theme, I don't always tend to be the leader. I tend to just like blend in with the shadows, but if the occasion calls for it, I'll definitely step up. And even if we do team and it's like competition, I'm always willing to help if you ask. So even if you're in the other team and some people are like, no, I'm not gonna help you, I always wanna help. And I'm always correcting and trying to kindly tell them, oh, they're gonna question this part of your presentation. Make it better before they even have a chance to question it.
Good for you. And after you're a senior from East Career Technical Academy, what's the next step for you?
So I got a scholarship to attend Nevada State College. So that scholarship essentially pays for all of my tuition. And so I'm gonna go there in the fall. I still don't know what I'm gonna study because I'm very indecisive. So we'll see where the future takes us from there.
Well, that's great. You have time to figure it all out, and oftentimes it takes being in those environments to figure out that path. So you'll figure it out. Don't stress about that for sure. It looks like we're getting our judges back. So again, thank you for spending some time with us and letting us learn a lot more about you. Best to you in the competition and as you move forward. All right, so we're now ready for our fourth poet of the competition. Reciting their first poem of the day is Washoe County's Ekshot Sehorn.
Mansplaining by Jennifer Militello. Dear sir, your air of authority leaves me lost, eases me from a place of ease, contracts with my contradictions to take from me a place, autopilots my autobiography, frightens my fright, sighs with my breath, wins at my race. Your certainty has me curtained, your nerve has me nervous, your childhood has me childlike, and your nastiness nests in my belfry like a hawk. You are beyond and above my slice of sky, peach as a pie, bourbon as its pit. You are spit and vinegar while I sour in my bowl. You bowl me over while I tread lightly on my feet. You walk on water while I sink. You witness me, fisherman, boat on the lake, while I struggle and burble and brittle and drop. You wink at me, and I must relate. I close my eyes to erase you, and you are written in my lids. A litmus test, a form of layer. God with 3 days of facial growth and an old bouquet for a face. Soap and water for a brain. I have no handsome answer. I have no pillar of salt or shoulder to look over. I have no feather to lay. I have no bubble to burst. I am less to myself, a character in a drama, a drumbeat, a benevolence, a blight. All parts of me say shoot on sight. Aim for an artery or organ. Good night. Thank you.
Ekshot, very nicely done. Our judges, again, heading to the breakout room to discuss scores. So Ekshot is a sophomore from Robert McQueen High School, representing Washoe County, one of our younger competitors this year. And so tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the competition.
Well, I was first introduced to Poetry Out Loud in freshman year, but I didn't make it past the classroom, so I was determined to make it this year, and so I started boosting up my confidence, and then this year, really shocked that I made it this far.
Yeah, that's a great incremental jump there, right? Good for you from going from not making it out of the classroom. And McQueen does quite a big competition. I mean, most of the English classes are involved in the program, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's great. And so what got you inspired about poetry? I mean, I know you had to do it in class, but what really made you want to push yourself as hard as you did to get to this point today?
Well, I was first technically, I was first introduced to poetry when I was in elementary school. And it was when one day we were in the school library and the teacher said to pick out whatever book you want. And I went to the Junie B. Jones section and I couldn't find anything I wanted to read because I read all of them. So then I went to this other book and I found that, it was a poetry book. And I can't remember the author, but I remember that like first impression, I didn't understand any of it, but throughout middle school and then like at the beginning of high school, I was just so intrigued on how you could say so little and so less with a certain amount of lines and say it in a type of way that you could have so many different meanings and so many different interpretations from it. And I thought it was a lot more fun than just the regular English language. So yeah.
That's fantastic. Good for you. That's great. And you're not originally you originally came from Tracy, California. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was born in Tracy, California. Okay.
And when did you move into the Reno area?
When I was about a year old, I think.
Oh, wow. So young. Okay, great. So you've been here quite a while then. That's great.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So any ideas or thoughts on what you might want to do after high school?
I have a lot of ideas. I'm not really sure what I want to do at the moment, but I think I might either go into pre-med dental or I might even go to information systems and become an IT major.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. Lots of options there. You have plenty of time to figure it out. That's fantastic. Yeah. And how about during this time frame of being at home? What have you been spending a lot of time on?
Well, our school teachers sent us a lot of distance learning work. So I've been doing that. And I started getting back into painting again. So I've been painting and drawing. I got back into playing guitar too. So learned a couple of songs in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And, I watched a lot of movies and TV shows that were on my list. So I'm finally getting to those. Yeah.
That's good. Lots of things you can check off the list there. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think we're all in that same boat, so we're all feeling the same things. Well, and family-wise, you have brothers or sisters?
I have one older brother.
Older brother. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, Ekshot, thank you so much for spending some time sharing your story with us, and again, best to you on the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are ready for our fifth poet of the competition, Lyon County's Whitney Hegsted.
The Poem You've Been Waiting For by Tarfaya Faizullah. I saw then the white-eyed man leaning in to see if I was ready yet to go where he has been waiting to take me. I saw then the gnawing sounds my faith has been making, and I saw too that the shape it sings in is the color of cast iron mountains. I drove so long to find, I forgot I had been looking for them. For the you I once knew, and the you that was born waiting for me to find you. I've been twisting and turning across these lifetimes where forgetting me is what you do so you don't have to look at yourself. I saw that I would drown in a creek carved out of a field our incarnations forged the first path through to those mountains. I invited you to stroll with me, there again for the first time, to pause and sprawl in the grass while I read to you the poem you hadn't known you'd been waiting to hear. I read until you finally slept, and all your jagged syntaxes softened into rest. You're always driving so far from me, towards the me I worry without you is eternity. I laid there, awake, keeping watch while you snored. I waited, as I always seem to, for you to wake up and come back to me.
Great job. Congratulations on making it to the state finals. An amazing accomplishment. And for you, you're a freshman, youngest in the competition for us this year. Congratulations on that. Representing, you're from Yerington High School, representing Lyon County. And in reviewing your bio, you are a very busy person with a lot of things going on. So I'm anxious to get to hear a little bit more about some of these. But in particular, you've been doing a lot of music studying, and tell us a little bit about that.
So I've always been like into the musical performance because my whole like mom side of the family, they're all like singers, but I'm like, me and my cousin Joey are probably like the only two that actually pursued it and want to like make a career out of it. So I started joining actual vocal lessons like 2 years ago, and I do at Jam Pro Music Factory down in Reno. So yeah, and it's really fun. Everyone's there is like, they're all lovely people, and I don't know, I really love music, and I write my own stuff, and at the moment, actually, I'm being paid right now, money, to write this piece of a song for this guy that I met in California, and yeah, that's pretty cool, I feel like.
That's fantastic. That feels really good when you're getting paid for the work. That's what it's about right there. So good for you. And you've been invited to be in the Nevada State Honor Choir in Las Vegas?
Yes. So last year, my 8th grade year, I have been an honor choir student from 5th grade to this year, and probably future years, hopefully. And I got into the state honor choir, right? Yeah, the state honor choir last year. And yeah, that was so much fun. So much fun.
Did you travel around the state, or how does that work?
So basically, like, you take a bus, or you can just drive with your parents. And then you stay in a hotel with like the other people that made it in your school, although only 2 of us made it. And then you practice, like you rehearse as a group, and I think we practiced in this type of like church place in Las Vegas. And it was like all day rehearsal, then we have like a lunch break and then come back. And it was for 3 days, and then on the last day we performed at UNLV at the like auditorium theater. It's huge, but yeah, that was really fun.
I bet. Yeah. Was that one of the culmination of that? Was that pretty cool, being able to sing at UNLV? And
Yes, it was. It was a great theater.
That's fantastic. And one of the other things I see in here is that you actually performed the national anthem during Night of the Country the last few years.
Yes, and I was supposed to this year also, but it got canceled. So, but yeah, I performed it last year and the year before that, and it was really fun. And I met like a few country singers personally. I don't really listen to country that much, but that was really cool. They're all really nice. So.
Good. Do you remember who you met by chance? No.
I forget his name. I think
That's
it's
all
like.
right. I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. That's
No, you're good. I think I kind of met Job Fortner. Job Fortner. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. No, well, that's kind of exciting though to meet someone of prominence, right? That's gotta.
Yeah.
Did he comment on your singing at all, or?
So I met him before I
Okay.
sang, and then he had to go up like right after me, so I didn't really get a chance to talk to him afterwards. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you're a freshman, so lots of time, still in high school, which is fantastic. A lot ahead of you. But what are you thinking that you'd really like to pursue? I mean, obviously you're writing music now and getting paid for it. That's great. What might else you like to do?
So I was thinking about going into the medical field or studying like forensic science.
Well, Whitney, thank you so much for sharing time with us, and best of luck to you too the rest of the way. And we will now move on to our sixth poet for their first read, and that is Story County's Anastasia Chevalier.
Fairy Tale Logic by A.E. Stallings. Fairy tales are full of impossible tasks. Gather the chin hairs of a man-eating goat, or cross a sulfuric lake in a leaky boat. Select the prince from a row of identical masks. Tiptoe up to a dragon where it basks, and snatch its bone. Count dust specks mote by mote, or learn the phone directory by rote. Always, it's impossible what someone asks. You have to fight magic with magic. You have to believe that you have something impossible up your sleeve. The language of snakes, perhaps. An invisible cloak. An army of ants at your beck. Or a lethal joke. The will to do whatever must be done. Marry a monster. Hand over your firstborn son.
Thank you, Anastasia. We will, the judges will head off to review their scores. And if you can go ahead and try to trigger your video again, we'll have a quick little discussion. Great.
Awesome.
Well, great job. And you are a sophomore from Virginia City High School representing Story County. Congratulations on making it to the state finals. How did this all come about for you?
All right, so I found out about Poetry Out Loud in my freshman year, and I had personally decided to stay in the classroom. That year I wasn't as, I guess you could say, experienced or confident in myself, but sophomore year I actually took my English class with my English professor, Mr. Watts, and he's actually the one who sort of coerced me into, leaving the classroom and getting into state finals. He was actually a big inspiration for me to, continue with this and actually sort of make something of it. So.
Good. And in your bio, you talk a lot about leadership and leading people and the attributes that you have. Describe that a little bit.
All right, so the reason why leadership is such a big part of my life, in my opinion, is because my goal is actually to become a naval officer in the intelligence field. So having leadership is sort of a job requirement. So it's implemented a lot in my life. I teach martial arts. I actually just recently got promoted to a petty officer 3rd class in my Naval Sea Cadet Corps. So leadership has sort of become an implemented part of my life.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Congratulations on that. So you said martial arts. What type of martial arts?
Technically, I do mixed martial arts, but there's Jeet Kune Do, Taekwondo, Muay Thai, and a couple others. We have some friends as well.
And you're teaching that the disciplines as well?
I am. So I teach Tiny Tiger classes, and I actually have 2 black belts, a 1st degree and a 2nd degree. So I'm an instructor, and I help teach the little children.
Excellent. My daughter is a third degree black belt in mixed martial arts as well, and the commitment of that is incredible. So having watched her do, the number of hours put into that's a lot. So congratulations. Not easy to do and to stick with it.
Thank you very much. I believe I've been doing martial arts since I was seven.
Fantastic. That's great. And so you said the Navy. Do you have family who are in or have been in the military?
Yes, my father was in the Navy. My uncle, I believe, was in the Navy, and my grandfather was in the military as well. I'm from a military family, basically, so it sort of runs.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, following in their footsteps, and certainly we thank them for their service. This Memorial Day, did you attend any kind of festivities that were related to the military during the weekend?
No, we stayed quarantined and
Yeah.
celebrated.
Good idea. Speaking of that, how have you been doing while you've been at home, and maybe what have you been doing? I suspect.
I've been doing well. I've had my school. I've been working on starting some college courses in justice, English, history, and all of those. And I actually decided to take up watercolor as well. So
Good for you. How's that going?
busy.
Yeah. And the watercolors, are you making progress on that? Are you feeling good about it?
I am. I definitely don't feel like I'm just sort of splotching color anymore. So
Well, Anastasia, thank you so much for sharing time with me. Best of luck to you the rest of the way. Judging is complete. The winners are coming in, and we're going to take just a quick moment to highlight the awards that we have for the winners. There's some cash awards that each winner will receive, but in addition to that, we have some hand-blown glass globes that were produced by Domsky Glass Studio in Las Vegas. We have a first, second, and third place. I believe you'll be able to see those on your screen. Beautiful pieces that Domsky Glass has done over the last couple of years for us. Again, a keepsake that our winners will be able to carry with them wherever they go and throughout their lives. So we're grateful and thankful for Domsky Glass, and certainly it appears that we are almost ready to announce our award winners. So hang with me here. I have third and second, and I'm just waiting on first place, and it is in. So these are real-time results, everyone. So here we go, drum roll. So in third place for Poetry Out Loud 2020 Nevada State Finals, from Douglas County, Laura Cassidy. Laura, congratulations. Very excited for you. Yes, let's go ahead and do a virtual applause for Laura. Fantastic. Oh, I like the clicking of the snapping of the fingers. That is perfect. In second place, from one second, just have to confirm here that I might. Okay, yeah. In second place, from Story County, is Anastasia Chevrolet. Anastasia, congratulations to you. Very great job. Fantastic. And in first place, the 2020 Nevada Poetry Out Loud State Champion is representing Washoe County, and that is Ekshot Sekhorn. Congratulations to you for being our Poetry Out Loud champion. It is fantastic. And this concludes our competition. But again, hopefully you can see all of our participants now on the virtual stage. And again, let's give you all one more round of applause for all the great work. This is not easy for anyone who has attempted it or tried it. And certainly you all are absolute winners for sure. So, and joining our, again, I want to go ahead and take some time to recognize our 2020 sponsors for their support again this year: the National Endowment for the Arts, the Poetry Foundation, the Envy Energy Foundation, Pioneer Center for the Performing Arts, SOSU TV, Nevada Department of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, Sierra Arts Foundation, KUNR, Nevada Department of Education, Nevada School Districts, Cultural Alliance Nevada, and Dynographic Printing. We want to thank our Poetry Out Loud coordinator and NAC staff member, Mary Jane Dvorafichuk. She does a fantastic job every year. It is not easy. She helps coordinate all of our coordinators across the state. We want to give a special thanks to all of our judges out there. To you, thank you for taking the time and putting your stamp on this year's event. We are very appreciative of that. I want to thank all of the teachers of all of our students, their families and friends. We know that it takes a lot of support there, and to our entire NAC staff. I want to thank all of you as well. Sierra, thank you especially for helping us TD. Mark, thanks to you and SOSU TV for your support. Again, thank you for watching. Thanks everyone. Congratulations, Ekja and Anastasia and Laura. You guys all did a great job, and all of our contestants. Again, stay safe, take care, and we will see you next year.